Hello, I'm Simon and I'm here to talk about my Merlin Malt G2X gravel bike with its Shimano GRX810 1x11 gears. I'm going to be talking about the bike itself and about the gears and about the concept of a gravel bike, so if you're thinking of any of those three things, this might be of interest to you. First of all, just a little bit about why I wanted a gravel bike. I've had this one for a few years. This is a Scott Sportster 10. Done a couple of coast-to-coast rides on it with panniers. Enjoy riding it, not the fastest, but it's good on bumpy ground like canals, and it's good in the wet weather. Then in 2019 I bought this giant Contend SL to do Velo Birmingham, which was a 100-mile ride. I say ride and not race, I'm not particularly fast, I averaged about 13 miles an hour. But really enjoyed this bike, more than I thought I would. It became my main bike. When the winter came round, it didn't feel so safe with the skinny tyres on wet roads and leaves, so I decided to look for the gravel bike. So why the Merlin Malt? Well, I was looking out for a gravel bike. At the time the pandemic was on, there weren't many bikes available, and this one was available. I couldn't believe my luck because it was very well equipped with that GRX810 group set, and it's a very decent price, £1,450, which isn't too bad considering the price of that group set alone is around £1,000. And to be fair to Merlin, they were very good, true to their word. It said 14 days delivery, exactly 14 days after the bike came. They assembled them in their own workshops and you can choose which parts you want, for example different width handlebars and things like that. I'm now going to show you through some of the features of the bike. The bike is equipped with GRX disc brakes. They're hydraulic brakes, so they're really powerful, but the discs themselves are part of the Ultegra range, so they're quite a small diameter and nice and lightweight, so you've really got the best of both worlds here. Another feature I really like are these through axle hubs. Now they're not called quick release, but they're actually quicker than quick release because you simply loosen this off here, pull it out, it's a simple bolt with a handle on, and you pull the wheel off. That's simple. Put the wheel back in, put the bolt through, do it up, done. As for the handlebars, well, I find them very comfortable. I usually hold them around the hoods like that, that's the usual position, but then you can hold them in the middle and you can hold them underneath, which I don't do very often. If anyone's put off by drop bars because you think you've got to hold them at the bottom, you haven't. It just gives you some different positions for your hands so you don't get achy, so they're absolutely fine, feeling full control. Can't say a lot about the saddle. It's branded as fabric. It's just personal taste if it's comfortable for you. I find it very comfortable. Tyres, they're Schwalbe G1 38mm. They seem to roll okay. They look like they might be a little bit too knobbly for mostly road riding I'm doing, but they're absolutely fine. I am a big fan of the 1x11 group set. It's simplicity, because you've only got one lever and you can go up the gears and down them all in a sequence, very simply. You're not carrying the weight of an extra derailleur. When you adjust it, you've only got one cable to adjust and you know it's going to work. And the other thing is it's very simple to clean. On a crank set with 2 or 3 cogs, there's lots of places for the dirt to accumulate, and I often end up taking them apart and scrubbing them. With this, it's that simple. Just pull the chain off like that, wipe it round, and it's clean. The jockey wheels are the other dirt magnet, but again, because it's so easy to loosen the chain, you can free those up and very easily get all the muck from between the teeth. So I've established how simple the gears are, just having 11 rather than 22, but the big question is 11 enough? For the purposes of this, I'm going to compare the 11 gears on the Merlin Malt and the 22 on my giant Contend road bike, and I'll do a little bit of geekery with gear ratios. So here are the gear ratios on my road bike. So at the very top, the smallest red bar, that's a ratio of 1, so that's the going up hills gear. So that means the wheel turns once for every revolution of the crank. And then the very highest gear is the longest blue bar, where the wheel turns 4.55 times for every turn of the crank. The red bars represent the lower front derailleur setting, and the blue bars represent the higher front derailleur setting. On the 2x11 setup, the gears are grouped into 2 groups of 11, and obviously they're not in a convenient straight line. I've sorted the graph out to show the gear ratios if they were all in a straight line, and as you can see, quite a few of them are very, very close to each other. So if I exclude any gears that are less than 5% different to each other, that brings it down to 16. So already the 1x11 is looking quite good. So here we have the 1x11 GRX ratios on my Merlin bike, and as you can see, there's only 11 of them, but they are all in a nice straight line. So you're just on one lever, you're going from your ratio of 1 to your ratio of 3.82. So I've got a 22 speed Ultegra bike, and I'm thinking of an 11 speed GRX gravel bike. Will 11 be enough? In this graph here, I've compared the ratios. The grey lines are the ones available on the 11 speed, and the red and the blue lines are the ones available on the 22 speed. As you can see, in most cases, the gears are all pretty close, so any gear that you wanted on the Ultegra you can have on the GRX. Very, very close, you're not going to really notice any difference. The only exception is the top gear. If you look at the blue line at the very bottom with a ratio of 4.55, there is no grey line close to it. Essentially, out of those 22 gears, by going to 11 with these ratios, you lose your very top one. Personally, I don't think this is much of a sacrifice, because I've pedalled comfortably up to 35 miles an hour. Never really gone much faster than that, so it hasn't caused me any issues at all. And I'd rather have the convenience of having the gears all in a line. So in summary, on gravel bikes generally, they're fun to ride, they're versatile, and despite a rather specialised name, they're probably the general purpose bike most people need. If you can only have one bike, have a gravel bike. And on 1x11 gears, they're easy to shift with all the gears on one lever, they're easy to clean and maintain, they look tidy. Comparing mine with my 22 speed road bike, the only loss is the very top gear, and this isn't a problem to me. And they're probably what most people need. And on the Merlin Malt, I love the bike. Not being a designer brand means far better equipped for the money. And the company were good, they delivered on time. And finally, thanks for watching. This has not been a sponsored video, I've just been doing it for fun.